the robotics. Okay. Okay, so advanced manufacturing system. So in the previous class we are discussing with the three components of a CNC machine. One is program input device, where the set of instructions or programs are going to store. Okay, then we are having a part called as the controller units. The controller unit is one which receives the set of instruction from the program input device, and then execute those set of the instruction, and then sends those instruction to the machine tool. And according to the signals received from the controller unit, the machine tool they actually perform the task, like the holding and unholding the jobs, and then tool movement, etc. So these are the three basic components of CNC machine. One is a part program, second one is controller unit, and third one is machine tool. Okay, in this class I'm going to discuss, there are two types of the control system used in CNC or computer numerical control machine. One is called as open loop control system. So you can see the diagram. First diagram is open loop control system, and then second one is called as closed loop controller system. These are the two control system used in a CNC machine. Okay, so in case of open loop control systems, okay, directly the motor receives the command signal from the input and then execute those instructions to the machine directly. Okay, here we don't have any feedback signal in the open loop controller system. So the whatever the signals received from the input directly, it gives to the machine. Okay, according to the instruction received by the motor, the machine performs the actual task. Okay. ಹಲೋ, ಹಾಂ ಹೇಳಿ. ಹಾಂ ಅದೇ ಎರಡು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್, ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ತಂದು ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಹಾಂ ಹಾಂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಮೇಡಮ್, ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅಪ್ ಟು 12 o'clock ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಮುಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ತಂದು ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. Okay, in case of open system, we don't have any feedback signals. Okay, the whatever the commands received from the input directly executes in the machine. Okay, hence suppose something goes wrong in the machine, so there is no feedback signals received from the machine to the controller unit. Hence this system is not reliable in the nature. Okay, on the other hand, you see the second diagram, this is called as the closed loop control system. So we are here we are having the command signal. Command signal goes to the input, and then we are having the motor. This is nothing but your controller in it, and then next we are having the machine, actual machine, and then from the machine, okay, there is a one part called as sensor or transducer. It is a feedback element introduced between input device and actual machine. Okay, you see the diagram properly. There is no feedback element in the open loop system. Here we are having a feedback element. It is nothing but sensor or transducer. It is introduced in between your input device and the actual machine. Okay, so the first the command signals from the computer memory enters into the input, and then from the input into the controller unit. There is nothing but motor, and then from the controller unit to the actual machine. Okay, and suppose something goes wrong in the actual machine regarding operation or like program problem, etc. So those problems are going to send to the feedback element. Okay, this machine sends all the things, feedback signal, to the feedback element. Okay, this feedback element in turn transfers the feedback signal whatever received from the machine to the input. Okay, and then input, it rectifies whatever the commands received from the feedback element, rectifies, and then sends the corrected signals or corrected actions to the controller unit, and then controller unit sends the machine slide like that. So we are having the feedback element. Okay, whatever the defaults or the problems occurs in the machine slide, they enters into the feedback element. Okay, that's feedback element in turn transfers those difficulties from the machine into the input device. Okay, here input or comparator the rectifies all the programs. Okay, and then sends back to the motor, and then motor transfers the program to the machine slide. Okay, like that. This is called as closed loop control system. You have to explain with the block diagrams. Open system is not reliable, okay, because there is no feedback element. On the other hand, so this closed loop controller system is most reliable in nature, okay, because we can get the corrected operations using a closed loop control system. So the first part, you have to study the basic parts of CNC machine. Okay, you have to explain with the sketch. These are the three basic part. One is program input device, one is controller unit, and one is a machine tool. And the types of um, controller system. Types of control system. One is your open loop control system, and second one is your closed loop controller system. Okay, so these are the block diagram you have to show. Okay, next important thing is advantages and disadvantages of a CNC machine. Okay, most important. Okay, so advantages, first part is advantages. CNC machine gives the higher productivity. Suppose if a operator can perform some 50 jobs in 1 hour, so he can finish the 50 work pieces in 1 hour. On the other hand, the CNC machine finishes around 500 to 1000 uh, parts at a time in 1 hour. Hence, we'll get the higher production rate in case of CNC machine. Okay, and one more advantage is that this machine can run for 24 hours and all 365 days. Okay, but operator can perform only in 2 shifts. Hence, we can achieve the higher production rate using CNC machine. Okay, second one is we'll get higher precision rate as compared to the conventional machine. Okay, with better quality of products. Okay, so precision will not get accurately in case of numerical machines, sorry, in case of conventional machine. So we'll get the higher precision in case of CNC machine. Next, we can perform multiple operation at a time. Okay, so multiple operation means first sequence is first facing operation we can do, and then turning operation, and next thread cuttings. All the multiple operation can be performed, but main thing is we have to write the programs accordingly. Okay, then fourth one is does not require a skilled operator. Skilled operator is not required, but you remember we need skilled programmer for CNC machine, because suppose something goes wrong, everything's so will not get accurate operation. Hence the accurate programming is necessary in case of CNC machine, but it does not require a skilled operator. Okay, whatever the programs given by the programmer is directly fed into the computer, the memory, and then computer memory transfers all the commands to the controller unit. Okay, because the program plays important role in CNC machine, it does not require a skilled operator. Next, improved automation means we can, as I said, we can get higher production rate in case of CNC machine. Okay, so improved automation is possible. Okay, next we are having reliability. Okay, reliability and repeatability. Repeatability means suppose I want to turn a diameter of around 200 from a given workpiece. In that case, suppose if it is used by conventional machine, then every time you have to change the job. Okay, but in case of CNC machine, so that we can perform the same kind of the operation for a multiple number of the workpieces, that is called as repeatability. Okay, but we have to set the program. Once a program is verified and executed, so that we can produce the number of products at a time. That is a repeatability and reliability, and it is flexibility in nature. Okay, and one more important is that motion control. So this CNC machine can move in three direction: X direction, Y direction, and Z direction. Hence, it is more reliable, flexible in nature. Okay, so the cutting tool can move in three directions, X, Y, and Z direction. That is the advantage of a CNC machine. Okay. Then increased machine utilization. So we can run CNC machine for entire 24 hours and entire 365 days. So this is the increased machine utilization. These are the advantages of CNC machine. First one is higher production rate, precision is possible. We can perform multiple operation at a time. It does not require skilled operator. Improved automation is possible. So repeatability, reliability, and flexibility. Motion control means the machine can move in all the three direction, and increased machine utilizations. But conventional machine we cannot use for 24 hours. We can run for 2 shifts. Okay, but the CNC machine can run for 24 hours and for 365 days. These are the advantages. Okay, next disadvantages are, okay, you see, first one, initial cost of the machine is high as compared to conventional machine. Suppose if normal lathe cost about 5 lakhs, but the CNC lathe cost about 15 to 20 lakhs because of the sophisticated structure. So we need sophisticated equipment. So we need control panel, etc. So for that purpose, the initial cost is high. And second one is high maintenance cost. Okay, so the maintenance cost is less in conventional machine, whatever operated by a human being. On the other hand, so whatever the process deals with the CNC machine require more maintenance because of the sophisticated structure. Okay, and requires a skilled program. You remember, skilled operator is not required. That is the advantage. On the other hand, disadvantage is that requires skilled programmers, because the everything is in terms of program. Suppose if program goes wrong, in that case the machine will not perform the task properly. Hence skilled programmer is required in case of CNC. Okay, and we are having a CNC CNC, we are calling a CNC turning center. You remember, the whenever it is operated by human being, so it is called as conventional lathe. If it is performed in a CNC operated machine, that is called as CNC turning center or CNC lathe. Okay, CNC turning center, it is same as that of the lathe machine, conventional lathe machines. All the cylindrical job we can hold, and but operations are performed by according to the set of programs. Programs are the fixed in the machine, sorry, in the computer device. Okay, and milling machine, whatever we discussed yesterday, suppose whenever we are having the computer program, that is called as machining center. You remember, the vertical milling machine is called as vertical machining center, and horizontal milling machine is called as horizontal machining center. Okay, the operations are same, but only in case of conventional machine all the activities performed by human being, but here all related to a set of instructions or programs. Okay, next important thing is robotics. Okay, introduction to robotics. Okay, robotics, first you should know the definition of a robotics. It is a reprogrammable, so we can change the program. That is called a reprogrammable multifunctional manipulator. Multifunctional means it can perform the variety of tasks, and which is designed to move the materials, parts, tools, or special devices through programmed motion for the performance of a variety of tasks. That is the definition of a robot. Okay, first you should know the definition. It is a reprogrammable, multifunctional manipulator which is designed to move the materials from one part to another part, designed to move the parts, designed to move the tools from one place to another place, or designed to move the special devices through programmed motion. Okay, once again, the programs plays important role in robotics for the performance of the variety of tasks. Okay, robot not only performs this one, it performs the variety of tasks. Okay, but CNC machine, suppose you take CNC turning center, it performs only the turning task. Okay, but on the other hand, robotics, it is a multifunctional, means it performs the many function, okay, at a time. and it is controlled through the program motion, okay, for the performance of variety of tasks, okay. That is called as a robot, okay. So next I'll explain the robot anatomy. Simple robot, okay. Simple robot, so we are having a base. The base is mounted on the ground, okay. You can see this is the body. We are having first one ground, next base, next body. On the body we are having the different joints, joint 1, joint 2, like that. So, like, we are having so many joints, and we are having the arms in between the joints, different joints. So this is a simple structure of a robot, okay. We are having base, body, different joints, and different links through the joints, okay. So this arms can be moved in different direction, okay, in Cartesian coordinates, or it can rotate around the base, or it can move in a spherical direction, like that. So I'll explain different configuration of robots, okay. So it is having body, and then we are having so many joints. Then in between joints we are having the arms, okay. So this is the basic structure of a robot, okay. Next, joints. The main function of the joint, it provides the relative motion between the links of the robot, okay. The main function of robotic arms or robotic joints to provide restricted relative motion between the different links of the robot, okay. Okay, next, links. Okay, link is a rigid member, okay. As I said, it connects between the different joints, okay. And this link is specified by two parameters, okay. One is a length of link. In sometimes we are having a short link, and in some cases we are having the large link, depending upon the variety of task, okay. And second one, twist. Twist means how much it twists about its own axis. That is called as twist of the link. And these are the two parameters of link. One is length of link, and second one is twist of the link, okay. Next important part is our robot configuration, okay. Robot configuration is most important, okay. In the exam they'll ask explain the different configuration of robot, okay. There are mainly 5 configuration of robot. One is Cartesian configuration, second one is cylindrical configuration, okay. These are the 5 configuration of a robot. First one, Cartesian configuration. Second one is cylindrical configuration. Third one is polar or also a spherical configuration robot. And fourth one is jointed arm. And fifth one is SCARA. SCARA means selective compliance assembly robot arm. Okay, so out of 5, so they used to ask sometimes all the 5 or sometimes any 2 or 3 robot configuration, okay. Here, so you have to practice these diagrams, okay. Whatever diagrams are visible on the screen, so you have to practice for the robotic configuration, okay. So this is a 2D view, and this is your 3D view, okay. Cartesian configuration, first type, okay. Cartesian configuration robot means here the movement of the arm is designed to move parallel to x, y, and z axis of a Cartesian coordinate system. Means here the arm so that it will move in x, y, and z direction as that of Cartesian coordinate. Hence the name Cartesian coordinate system. Okay. So here the arm movement is linear in nature. Okay, not rotational nature. So hence this robot is also called as a rectilinear robot or gantry robot. Another name for Cartesian robot is linear robot, rectilinear, because the robotic arm moves in linear direction. So you see, one is in x direction. This is x. Okay, this is x. It can move like this, x direction, and it can move like this also, and it can move uh, top to bottom or bottom to top, that is the z direction, so that the arm can be moved in three direction, x, y and z direction. So this is your the 2D view. We are having the base, and then we are having the joints, and then these are the arms, and this is called as wrist. Okay, whatever wrist you can see, this the wrist is attached to the arm. Okay, so that the robotic arm moves in a linear direction, that is in x, y and z direction. That's why it is called as Cartesian configuration robot. Okay, so you have to practice this diagram, okay, or this diagram. Okay, but you have to show all the three the axis, x, y and z directions. Okay, okay. Okay, next, what are the advantages of this Cartesian coordinates? Okay, advantages of Cartesian coordinates is it is very simple controls due to linear movements, because the arm moves in linear direction, x, y and z direction, and hence it is easy to visualize. That is the advantage of Cartesian coordinates. And we'll have the high degree of rigidity, mechanical rigidity, accuracy and repeatability. All these things are possible. So rigidity, accuracy and repeatability is possible in case of Cartesian coordinate robotic configuration, and it can carry the heavy loads because of the linear movement of robotic arm. It can carry the heavy loads. Okay, since the movement can start and stop along the three axes, the motion of wrist end is smoother. Okay, here it is very easy to control the motion of robotic arm, and hence the operation of this robot is quite smooth. Okay, as compared to the other robotic configuration. Okay, those simple in controls. Okay, so easy to visualize. It can carry the heavy loads, so it is having the high degree of mechanical rigidity, accuracy and repeatability. So, and here, and one more advantage is that the operation is quite smooth as compared to the other robotic configuration. Okay, these are the advantages of Cartesian configuration robots. Then disadvantage. Okay, and disadvantage is that, so it is limited to small rectangular workpiece. Okay, and then it is designed with the configuration, it occupies a large area. Okay, the area requirement is large because it moves in three directions, x, y and z directions, hence the requirement of the area is large in case of a Cartesian coordinate system. So this is a disadvantage. Okay, and we are having whatever study, those are the advantages. Okay, next configuration of robot is cylindrical configuration of robot. Okay, so in Cartesian coordinates, the robotic arm moves in linear direction, x, y and z direction. You see the next configuration, that is called as cylindrical configuration robot. Okay, cylindrical configuration robot is called because of the arm movement of the robot is designed to move according to the cylindrical coordinates. Okay, you studied Cartesian coordinates and cylindrical coordinates. Okay, here the robot is designed to move in a cylindrical coordinates. I think r and theta, okay, are the parameters in case of the cylindrical coordinates. Okay, you see the structure of your cylindrical coordinate system. Here we are having the base. Next, this is called as column, and the column we are having slide. So you can see this is the arm. Okay, the arm, so it can move in cylindrical coordinate system. Okay, it can move up and down, that is called as z coordinate, and also at an angle, so that angle, so it can rotate at a particular angle, and also we can move the slide up and down, that is called as z direction. So we are having the two things, one is z and one is theta. Okay, so these are the two coordinates. Okay, it is designed in such a way that this vertical column, whatever you are seeing here, it can move up and down, and it can tilt at particular angle. Whatever the angle is required, we can tilt that column. Okay, so the column can rotate about the vertical axis, and hence it is capable of achieving a workspace. It is cylindrical configuration. Okay, so first see the configuration. First one is base. On the base we are having column. On the column we are having the slide. So the arm is fixed to the slide, so that this column, it can rotate about the vertical axis, and hence it is capable of achieving the workspace, that is approximate the cylinder. Okay, next you have to show the configuration. This is the configuration. You have to show the Z and X, and also this diagram you have to show. Okay, that is your base, and then this is a column. Okay, if possible, try to practice this one. Otherwise you have to draw these two diagrams, B and C. Okay, B is your the workspace. Okay, what is R, what is Z, what is theta, and this third diagram is your the 2D view. Okay, 2D view, you can show the one is column and one is your arm, and then we are having, it is called as wrist. Whatever it is there, no, it is called as wrist movement. Okay, so this is the cylindrical configuration. Okay, the vertical column, it can move up and down. So whatever slide it can, we can bring down, we can bring up, and also the column rotates about its vertical axis. That's why it is called as cylindrical configuration robot. Next, advantages of this robot are, okay, so it is occupies a larger workpiece. In case of Cartesian coordinate system, so the workspace is required is more. Okay, so that was a disadvantage, but here the large workpiece is available than the Cartesian configuration because of the angular rotation. A robot is relatively easy to program. We can do easy program in case of cylindrical configuration. Okay, next, disadvantages. We will get a high degree of rigidity in case of Cartesian coordinates. Here the overall rigidity is reduced because robots with rotary motion overcome the inertia of the object when rotating. The inertia force comes into picture. Because of this one, we cannot hold the jobs rigidly with the help of cylindrical coordinates, but the Cartesian coordinates having the high degree of rigidity. Cylindrical configuration robots have low degree of rigidity, means rigidity is reduced because of the inertia force, because the column rotates about its own axis. Okay, and because of this one, the accuracy is also reduced, repeatability is also reduced in the direction of rotary movement, but we will get high degree of accuracy and rigidity in case of Cartesian coordinate system because of linear movement. Here, because of the rotary movement, the accuracy is reduced, and then rigidity is also reduced. Okay, then compared to Cartesian coordinate system, cylindrical coordinate system requires a most sophisticated control system than that of Cartesian coordinates because of the rotary movement of the column about its vertical axis. This Cartesian coordinate system requires simple control system. So, and this cylindrical configuration system requires the most sophisticated control system. Okay, these are the advantages. So what only advantage is that, so it provides the larger envelope or larger workspace than that of Cartesian configuration, and easy to program. Okay, that is a one advantage. Disadvantages are low degree of mechanical rigidity, low accuracy, low repeatability. Next, we are having the sophisticated control system. These are the disadvantage of the cylindrical configuration system. Okay, next configuration is the polar configuration system. Okay, so in case of you see the diagram, this is your 3D diagram. So we are having the base, we are having the slide, and this one is arm, and this is the wrist, and this one is the joint between base and the slide. Okay, and this is the 2D diagram. This is your base, and this is the column, and this is the arm, and this is the twist attached to the arm. Okay, so why the name polar configuration? Because the whatever workpiece workspace or the envelope we are getting in case of polar configuration is that of partial sphere. Okay, so second one is cylindrical shape. Okay, workspace we are getting in cylindrical coordinate, and this is spherical coordinates. Okay, so the whatever the workspace or envelope what we are getting in case of polar configuration robot is of partial sphere. Okay, and here we are having the base, and this is called as pivot. You remember we are having a part called as pivot in polar configuration. Okay, here spherical coordinates will get. Okay, uh, next advantages, only have to change the diagram. Cylindrical coordinates r and theta, that is z and theta. Here it is in a spherical form. You see the base is of spherical, and we are having whatever the rotation, it is in the form of partial sphere. Okay, next the advantages of polar configuration robot. Okay, here the once again we'll get the larger working envelope, larger working area, so available in case of polar or spherical configuration system. Okay, and second one, this kind of configuration is very simple in design and easy to program. Okay, such kind of uh, programming is simpler and easy one. Okay, and it produces a good weightlifting, so we can do the heavy weightlifting in case of polar configuration. Okay, one is easy to program, next easy to design. Okay, next it provides the larger the working area. Okay, as compared to the Cartesian or cylindrical configuration. Okay, these are the advantages. Disadvantages are, okay, once again, so because of this type of configuration, because of the rotation, once again the rigidity is less in case of a polar configuration system as compared to Cartesian, because of this movement of arm only. Second one, it requires most sophisticated control system as compared to Cartesian or cylindrical configuration. Okay, simple control system is required in case of Cartesian. So in case of cylindrical, most sophisticated control system is required. So, and in case of polar configuration system, still further complicated control systems are required for the operation of robot. Okay, and limited vertical moment. So you see the structure. So we cannot operate for longer vertical motion. It is very limited vertical movement of the arm. So this is one disadvantage of spherical configuration system. It is a simple in design, easy to program. We'll get the larger the working envelope or larger working space. These are the advantages. Disadvantages are because of the R moment in spherical configuration, the mechanical rigidity is less, the accuracy is less, and then it requires most sophisticated control system for the operation of robot, and it is having the limited vertical movement. Okay, next application. Okay, so we are using the not dot application. Okay, next fourth configuration is your jointed arm configuration robot. Okay, this is called as jointed arm. Okay, so here we are having the two arms. Okay, two arms are connected to this one. It is called as elbow. One is upper arm. This is the forearm. So these are connected to shoulder, and whatever you are seeing, it is called as base. Okay, this is a 3D diagram. Okay, elbow, and then this is a forearm. This is the upper arm. Okay, so why the name? It is very similar to the human forearm and upper arm mounted on a vertical pedestal. So this is called as pedestal, and it can be rotated about the base. Okay, remember we can rotate this pedestal about the base. Okay, so we can have the three rotational moments at a time. That's why it is called as jointed arm. Jointed arm means we're having a different arms connected to shoulder. Okay, one is forearm, one is upper arm. Okay, you see the 3D diagram, and this is your 2D diagram. Okay, the base, column, and this is the shoulder, and this is the elbow, and this is your twist wrist. Okay, this is the uh, jointed arm configuration robot. Okay, then advantages are it is most flexible configuration compared to other configuration, the because we are having the three rotational moments. Okay, you can rotate the base. So when this base rotates, this upper arm also rotates, and this forearm also rotates. Okay, so that we are having the three rotational movements at a time. Hence, it is most flexible in nature because this robotic arm having the capacity to move in all direction. So that is the major advantage of robotic configuration. Second one is it is having the larger working envelope or larging working area, and it is the most versatile configuration compared to other configuration robots. Okay, next disadvantages are it requires complex programming because of you are having the complex structure. So we are having forearm, next we are having the shoulder, etc. So it requires the complex programming. Okay, so and one more disadvantage is control actions are very difficult. So control actions are very smooth in case of Cartesian. The control actions are very difficult whenever the column rotates about the base or rotates about the vertical axis. Okay, this is the disadvantage. Means it is a control actions are very difficult in case of jointed arm or robot, and it is less stable. Okay, so stability is less in case of jointed arm. These are the disadvantage. Okay, next. So these are the four configuration you have to practice. One is Cartesian configuration. Okay, so what I showed in the first this one. Okay, second one is cylindrical configuration. Now I'll explain the applications. Okay, so as I said, application, this robot plays very important role. Cartesian configuration robots are the mainly used in assembly part. Okay, assembly of uh, machine parts. Next, welding. So robots can perform welding, and then machine loading and unloading. So that a robot is called as pick and place robot, means machine loading and unloading, surface finishing operation. Okay, and inspection operation. As I said, the robot can perform the variety of tasks. Okay, it can involve in assembly, it can involve in welding, machine loading and unloading, surface finishing, and even the robot can do the inspection also. Okay, this is these are the applications of Cartesian: assembly, welding, machine loading and unloading, surface finishing, inspection, etc. Next, the applications of cylindrical configuration robot is mainly used in uh, casting. Okay, you already studied casting in materials. Okay, conveyor, pellet transfer, assembly. Next, coating application. So coating application, wherever complex movement is required, in that case we'll go for cylindrical configuration. Okay, next, polar configuration robot, they're mainly used in casting purpose. Okay, molding, machine tools, loading and unloading, dip coating, material transfer from one part to another part. Okay, that type of robot is used. Okay, jointed arm mainly used for painting, welding, automatic assembly, welding, pick and place operation, etc. So majority of the robots are mainly used for pick and place operation, welding operation, inspection work, machine loading and unloading work, the painting, dip coating, etc. Okay, now I'll explain the what are the advantages, disadvantages of the robots. Okay. So next, applications of industrial robots. So they plays very important role in material handling applications. So the machine material handling application means the material transfer, machine loading and unloading operation. So the robots are used to move the materials or the workpieces from one location to another location. These are called as pick and place operation. Okay. So first application is material handling application, pick and place operation, and machine loading and unloading operation. Okay. Next, processing application. Processing application, as I said, they involves in the application of welding, spray painting, and grinding, dip coating, etc. Okay, so they can perform in robot can perform welding operation, spray painting operation, grinding operation. Grinding is means it is similar to the machining operation. So where we'll achieve the high surface finish, that is called as grinding. Okay. Next, assembly and inspection. These are the three major application of robot. Okay. One is material handling. Second one is processing applications include welding, spray painting, next dip coating, etc. Assembly and inspection. Okay, so we can do the assembly using the robots. Okay, robots are mainly used to assemble the various components of a product. Okay, for example, your car body. Okay, it consisting of so many parts, so that all the assembling of the parts are performed by the robots. Okay, and robots are also used in part inspection applications. Okay, inspection, robots can perform the inspection operations as well. Okay, so these are the three basic important applications of robot. First one is material handling, machine loading and unloading, the transfer of parts from one part to another part, that is pick and place. Next one, processing application, means welding, painting, etc. Third one is assembly. The robot can do the assembling of the parts, and then even they can do the inspection whether the parts are in proper size or not. That is inspection. Okay. So these are the three important applications of a robot. Okay. Now, common advantages and disadvantages of a robot. Okay. Robot can perform the variety of tasks. Okay, that is the advantage. As I said, multifunctional manipulator. The first advantage is that robots can perform the multiple operation with the precision. Okay, precision plays important role in robot. So second one, they have the ability to work continuously at constant speed. Okay, without break, they'll perform all the tasks at constant speed. Okay, hence the robots are most suitable for mass production application, that is bulk production applications. Okay, and robots can increase the workpiece safety. Okay, the suppose in case of dangerous places and those things, it is very difficult for the operator to the activities in that case. So the robots plays important roles. The robots can increase the workplace safety. Okay, next, robots can reduce the production cost, time, material waste. Okay, means we can move the place in a fraction of time. Okay, so hence it reduces the time, reduces the labor cost also. Okay, and hence material waste is also reduced. Okay, robots can be programmed to perform the variety of tasks. Okay, you can perform any task. As I said, we can do loading and unloading, so we can do the machining operation, and then we can do the inspection, we can do the assembly, the program. But programs are required to perform the variety of tasks. Okay, these are the advantages. Next, disadvantages of robots are, so they'll ask, explain the different configuration of robots. Means you have to practice those four configuration, and then you have to write little bit explanation. What are the advantages, disadvantages, and application? Now, what I am explaining is the overall advantages and disadvantages of robots. The initial investment cost is high because it requires sophisticated control mechanism. okay, and then sophisticated tools. Hence, the investment cost is high as compared to the conventional machine. Then maintenance is required more, okay, because we have to maintain properly the robots because of the sophisticated mechanism. Hence, it increases the maintenance cost. Next, second disadvantage is that one more disadvantage that so robots cannot move easily as the human being do because we have to do the programs. They have some degrees of freedom. Next, robots can require considerable human intervention to perform some complex task. Okay, so in some cases, the human intervention is also required for the performance of any particular task. Okay, so this is the one disadvantage. And last and most important disadvantage is that the use of robots can lead to increase in the unemployment. Okay, so that it leads to unemployment for skilled the workers. Okay, those workers are they are very skilled in machining, so that definitely they will lose their job because of the usage of the robots. This is the most important disadvantage. The use of robots can lead to increase in the unemployment. Suppose if you use the robots anywhere, then there is no job for the human beings. Okay, so this is the one disadvantage. Okay. So this is all about the CNC control machine. Okay. Okay. Hello guys, understood the concept in robots? Okay. So Vachana, Vachana, Monica B, Anubhav Sahu, Anubhav Sahu. Okay, with this, there is a completion of your EME syllabus. Okay, I completed all the syllabus. Still, you are having any doubts, you can ask me. Okay. So I'll stop the session now. Okay. Thanks one and all for joining the session. Okay.